So this is going to be probably the most valuable video you will ever watch on this topic. This will give you an installable framework from literally a billionaire, and the background behind a system that's generated 30.8 million. And if you're wondering who I am, my name is Kamal. I help remodelers make buckets and buckets of money. And I make videos like these because 90% of remodelers go broke. I don't want you to be one of them. Okay. And if you're wondering why the camera quality is so horrible, I got $10,000 worth of cameras in this house. None of them want to hook up, but I thought, look, it's important. So I'm just going to make these videos with a webcam for now. Once I get someone into to set up a whole entire setup for me, then I'll have a setup. But sorry about the camera quality. Let's just dive in. So essentially, right here, I have there's multiple screens, by the way, just so you understand what I'm looking over there. But essentially, this is this is the image right here. So this is from a man called Mr. Morgan, essentially, and he is not much of an artist, but a very good businessman. Essentially, he helps you to understand the essence of all of the inputs that go into someone actually going from a stranger to a client. And here we have the drive. So the drives can be power, love, accolades, or even just progression in life. And that will create pain because they have a problem that they want to solve because of this. Well, a problem arises because of the drive that they have. They don't know how to solve it because they want to get to their goal. So this problem, you need to build confidence and trust that you guys are the best person to take action with. So there's a lot here. So essentially, just to even just, let me see if I can make this a bit thicker just so you can really understand as well. So essentially, let's just say someone might have a want to feel more connection in their kitchen. Okay. So in their kitchen, maybe it's a little bit more closed off and they don't really have a way to feel connected with the rest of the family. So they're in the kitchen by themselves, and then they come out to try and serve the food, but they really wish that they could have a kitchen in which they it's open plan, essentially, just putting it simply. So because of that drive of connection, yeah, they're in pain because they don't know how to solve that problem. They don't know how to knock down the wall and make it look good and not ruin their entire house. But they don't know who to go with. So you need to build confidence and trust in you guys that you guys can solve that problem for them and get them to the goal, and you're the right person to take action with, essentially. Okay. So essentially that goes on to create pain because they don't know how to solve this to get to here. So you need to have them have confidence and trust in them taking the action with you so you can unravel that and get them to here. Okay, great. So now we have all that down. All right, cool. So let's go on a little bit more. So essentially, they have their current state and a worst state. So you could either help them understand that it could be worse with someone else or whatever, and it also could be bad. Now, here's the major thing that I'm going to try and instill in your head, and this is probably going to be the most valuable sentence you ever hear on this actual idea. In essence, the marketing determines the end user. And this is a massive thing that no one's really paying attention to. And I want to go through an example from an actual agency. They made a YouTube video and our R&D department found it. And I thought it's actually important, so I'll put it in here as well. But an example of the type of ad that they would run and why it wouldn't work and why they're probably going to get people, price shoppers and whatnot. So I'm going to be breaking that down for you as well. But this is major to understand. By the way, I'm not retarded. I can spell dream state. It just cut off for some reason. But anyways, so essentially you want to tell them that your solution solves all the problems and whatnot that they're scared of and whatnot, so they can get to their dream state and avoid having being in a worse state where let's say they pay loads of money and they still don't get their dream kitchen because all they want is to have their dream kitchen. So we're going to get a little bit deeper into something called the art of resonance. Now, this man right here, his name is Drew Eric Whitman, and he is basically the leading person in the field of sales and marketing psychology for the last like 2 decades. He's one of the grandfathers of this. And essentially, he had something called the LFA, which is called the Life Force 8, in which people have unmutable biological desires, and this is why they buy things. And we're gonna go through them. You're gonna see that these probably tie into why you buy and you do things in your life, anyways. Now, just so you realize why this is highlighted as well, up here, as you can see, everything here is color coded, and within our company, this is actually a what's called an internal document that I drew up myself. So that's why it's color coded, so other people can understand what is what. So this is a drive, that's why it's in yellow, and the drives will be in yellow and the pain will be in pink, and the pain is what will help people actually take that action. Okay, as we already discussed just now. So essentially, zero VOC chemicals to improve your home's air quality and support your family's long-term health. Now, this ties into the fact that people want to live longer, have high quality lives and whatnot. But the major thing is as well, it's also their children. So this is a major thing that you could even tie into like some of your marketing or sales systems to differentiate you. So you're not competing on price, you're competing on quality. This is a major thing. You don't want to be competing on price, you want to compete on quality. And that's why the marketing determines the end user. Because if you're always talking about how much cheaper, how whatever, like if it's just all about price and like 10% off, $1,000 off, $5,000 off, then the people who are going to resonate with that kind of messaging are people that care about price, not people that care about quality. So you can't charge a premium to people that only buy on price, right? So this is how you're able to build in a good profit margin and never sell on price, only sell on quality. So you're selling on the fact that you guys are the only ones that have zero VOC chemicals, or you might be, and just so you understand as well, this is a deeper thing. When it comes to pain is of multiple different types. So it's wanting what isn't had, it's having what isn't wanted. So wanting what isn't had is, let's say they want to be the center of attention they want to be the person who hosts all the UFC fights at their house because their house is so gorgeous and amazing, their kitchen so beautiful. Or maybe having what isn't wanted, so they have a crappy house and a crappy kitchen that they don't really want to be cooking in. They don't really enjoy cooking with. They don't want to cook with their family. They just want to get in and get out because it's a functional space, not a place that serves as the heart of the home, which it should be. So also the consequences, what happens because you have a bad kitchen. Maybe there's gas leaks because you went with the wrong company, so you can have more consequences. There's there's a lot more as well. I'm not going to get into every single one of them, but just so you can understand there's different types of pain. So I'm highlighting all of these as well, just so we can get deeper in. And I'm not trying to make this into a masterclass, just so you can understand and you can take these things in a usable and what's it called, and you can quickly install them in your company basically today. So essentially, VOC chemicals. So you're committed to that, and other companies aren't committed to that. So you could say to someone, I know chucking the truck down the street is going to do it for cheaper, but how much value is what does it mean if every single meal that you make in your kitchen for your family is slowly poisoning your family? Like, what does that mean for you, Linda? And she might be like, oh, okay, actually, when I think about it like this, that's actually kind of scary. Okay, this makes sense. I'm going to move forward with you guys instead. And those people buy on quality. They don't buy on price. You're differentiating on quality, not price. And I'm gonna whiz through the rest of these. You can read them and whatnot. But essentially, so the enjoyment of food and beverages. That's another one. Freedom from fear, pain, and danger. And then also sexual companionship and how that ties into having a great kitchen as well. And there's so many different examples for these. But comfortable living conditions, to be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses, care and protection of loved ones, and then social approval also. And these are the 8 things that influence most people's decisions in life ever. And if you can tie your kitchen and the quality of the kitchens you build into that, then you're up to no end. When I say up, I mean you have an advantage over everyone else to no end. It's absolutely insane the amount of advantages you're going to have, because no one cares about how cheap it is if it's going to be worse, if I'm not getting what I really want. What I really want is a kitchen, but what they're really thinking about is a good deal. Like, what am I getting out for what I'm putting in? And the people that buy on value, not price, are the people that you want to be working with, because those are the people that understand that doing change orders is a massive thing. Not just, oh, just throw it in. Oh, just do this as well. Or you can just do this as well, right? Those type of people that wear down your profit margins are not the people that buy on these things. So you're not getting price shoppers, you're not getting people that ruin the experience of actually doing the remodel. So it's twofold the level of value you're getting as well. So just take these, pause, reread it and whatnot, go through that, because it's of massive value. So anyways, I'm going to go down a little bit more. So you saw the thing that the diagram that I showed you before, and this is what they want you to do. So show them that you're not going to be having them in a worse scenario. And even though their current scenario might be cramped, maybe it's bad for the kids, whatever it is, that your solution isn't going to end up making them spend even more money, have them like getting scammed or whatnot. Do it in a timely manner. They can trust you to do a good job without, let's say, trafficking people from the middle of Sao Paulo to make this happen. They don't want just random people that are maybe criminals and whatnot in the middle of their kitchen. If you can communicate that you guys can do all of that in an ad, in your marketing, in your sales messaging, in anything that you show them, you're going to win. And you can show them that, look, we're not going to have you here, and we're going to make sure all of these problems are solved for you. With our solution, you're going to end up here in a timely manner. You can trust us to do it without overcharging you or scamming you without trafficking people to the US to do it. Okay. People love that. So if it's value enough, it's valuable enough to them, they will take action. It's very simple. And this is a quote from a billionaire. We're going to get into him in a moment and some of his systems as well. But simple beats clever. This man is doing 250 million a year in revenue. Okay, so he probably knows something more than what me and you both know. Okay, so now we're going to go into two studies and one billionaire. So essentially, there's this study right here from a company called Market Sharp, and essentially they're a CRM software. And this CRM, you can see the numbers there on like how the leads and the users and the total amount of sales and the jobs completed. Now, I don't think they're that good of a CRM as far as CRMs go, but the major thing is the level of data that they have available to them is massive. And the reason why is because they did a study in this was 2017, and from what they saw, the average number of contact attempts was 2.6. So that's not text or calls. That's not just text or just calls or just emails. That's text, calls, emails, any sort of method to actually get in touch with the person. Only basically three times, but basically two and a bit on average across all of the people that you're seeing. So across 24,000 users, they're only reaching out like three times. So maybe sending three texts and that's it. And the average time before the first phone response is 61 hours and 1 minute. Absolute insanity. We're going to get into a reason why that's absolutely insane also. And also the average time spent on email, the average time for the first email response attempt is 19 hours and 1 minute. And a staggering 47% of companies don't even attempt to respond to their generated leads. Do you know how absolutely insane that is? With all the data that they have, this is why remodelers are not making a lot of money, because there's a second study by LRM. Now, LRM basically did a study. If I just zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to give you the cliff notes because it's a massive study, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes. Essentially, as you can see, the study found a staggering 21-fold decrease in the odds of qualifying a prospect if the response time stretched from just 5 minutes to 30 minutes, let alone 61 hours. 61 hours. Oh my God. Oh my God. So 5 minutes. This is the initial dials to leads that have become contacted. Yeah. Okay. And then you have 10 minutes. You can see that's a massive drop. Look at after an hour, it's not even there. 61 hours, it's over. It's completely over. Okay. Now, this is something that we saw in our company as well, but this is also corroborated by the billionaire I told you about. So this is Alex Hormozi here, and he sold his company for 46.2 million in 2021. One of only three people that were able to sell their licensing company for 8 figures. And then now he's on to a newer company where he's making $250 million a year. This is his actual award for being able to make over 100 million in his company. Okay. It's from a third party platform. It's not we awarded ourselves for how cool we are, him and his wife. So Layla and Alex Hormozi. So allegedly he knows what he's talking about. And he was talking about a company in a similar niche to all of us. And I'm just going to let it play. I don't know why YouTube has refused to connect. Okay, that's a bit weird. Let me see if I can click here. Bookmark view, and then see if I open it like... Okay, so let's see what he said. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you here going through it forever in a perpetual loop. But essentially, that's what he's saying. A billionaire is telling you from one of his own friends, from his own actual life experience, he was able to notice that someone was just their entire job was if a lead comes in, two or three leads come in a day, boom, they call them, had a 55% close rate on leads, not on appointments, leads. Major, absolute insanity. So it's not just what we think, it's what other people are saying as well. So just a little minor fact as well that you can also try to implement. Now, we are one of the only companies that have licensing for this because it actually costs $1,000 per person to actually get the licensing for this. But there's a system where you can get not WhatsApp, but we can get WhatsApp numbers as well. But iMessage numbers, because for some reason iMessage has a 92% response rate and has double the actual sales appointments. So I thought I'd just throw that out there as well. If you can get a hold of it, but it's pretty hard to get a hold of. Obviously, we have a system for it for anyone who does consulting with us. But I'm just saying, if you have an iPhone, just message them off iPhone and whatnot, and it'll have a similar effect. But we've systemized it for the people that work with us, and that actually become a partner within our company. So that's another thing. So with all that being said, let's go all the way up here. So we have 2 ads and 1 millionaire. So essentially, I will give you 10 seconds to decide. There's 2 different ads here, and obviously you're a smart person. I know you've been paying attention during this video. There's 2 ads here, and one of them has made 400,000. About 3 to 400,000 in about 30ish days, and the other one didn't. I'll let you decide which one you think made that amount of money. If you know that reference. So it's the one on the left. It's the one on the left that made 400,000. And how do we know? How do we notice? Well, obviously, the person who ran the ad. Shout out to Jason. He's the ad designer on that one. But it was ran for a guy called Perry Newman out in Utah, as you can see, and you can see all of the things. There's nothing here saying how cheap it is. It's your dream kitchen done right with amazing, gorgeous kitchens for family homes. So it resonates with the right person. That's the art of resonance. So it's not about telling them how cheap it is. If it resonates with the right persona and the right buyer, you're going to win. Now, I'm showing you this mainly because some of you are so slow. You're going to just try and copy the ad, and it's really bad if you do that. Because here's the issue. If all of you copy it, then none of you stand out. And then, the craziest thing, then you have to try and stand out again. So I'm telling you this. So all you need to do, and I'm going to give you a framework so you can make gorgeous ads and run them and make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I'm making a video as well on how to know when to scale the ads as well. Because sometimes you might make ads and they help you get a lot of jobs, but maybe they're not even still profitable. It's very crazy that you can get a lot of jobs, but they're still not profitable. And you probably know that as well. Sometimes you've done the end of year and you're realizing you basically ran on maybe 5% profit margins, maybe 10, but sometimes 5% profit margins. I've seen that across a bunch of companies, and some of the companies that are trying to apply, it's kind of insane, some of the profit margin. So I'm making a video on that, don't worry, but I'm just giving you this so you can see there's a difference. Okay, there's a difference in just making ads. Now this ad will get you a lot of leads, but they're selling on price. And think about the type of buyer that you want. Do they want kitchens that look like these or kitchens that look like these? Think about it. Now, we didn't make this ad, and I'm going to go through the guy who made this ad, but essentially just to make it super, super simple for you, how to make a cracking ad. So what you want to do is have the dream outcome be present and available in them. So you see with the I'll give you an example actually in a moment. But essentially, so the dream outcome is present. The perceived likelihood of achievement is there as well. Have the time delay drop, and then the actual effort and sacrifice drop as well. So how much actual effort is going to go into them having an amazing kitchen? Now, in essence, here's why it worked. So the dream kitchen done right, showing amazing work with a gorgeous kitchen. There we go. 30 plus 5-star Google reviews. Okay. All right. So it seems like the perceived likelihood of achievement is going to be high. 15 years of experience. That's a part of the actual ad copy as well. So the actual word, if you don't know what ad copy is, it's the words that accompany the image. So 15 years of experience while showing the work as well. He's also an older man. Now, I don't have a picture of him here, but Perry Newman is an older man. He's not a spring chicken by any means. So I hope he doesn't take any offense to that. But because of that, it seems like he's not a young remodeler just trying to get some bucks in. It seems like he's a seasoned man who's actually trying to connect people with their dream kitchens. And then in the actual, there's a video version as well. So I'm just it says 4 weeks. Okay, so in the next 4 weeks they'll have their dream kitchen done right by a guy with 15 years of experience, 30 plus 5-star Google reviews, who's an older guy who has gorgeous work that's been shown. And he's doing it with 100% done for you, because obviously you're not sending them a book on how to make a gorgeous kitchen. You're actually doing it for them. So it's done for you. So there's no effort and sacrifice, really. No shady subcontractors and no sales reps. So they don't feel like they're being sold to. They're buying because it's just valuable. Because people like to buy, but they don't like to be sold to. Great. So this is why the ad done well. Not because of just it looks sexy. This is the reason why ads can be replicated in their in their performance without having the exact same ads. I'm giving you a way to do it, but you can see it has the reviews there, it has the gorgeous work there and whatnot done right. It's not telling you about how cheap and sexy it's going to be. It's just how good is it? That's it. It's just a great kitchen. You know what? These kitchens look great. I'd love to see if I can get one done myself. All right. That's what is actually moving those people, because the people that are thinking, oh yeah, but how much does it cost? They're the price shoppers. You don't want to be appealing to them. Okay, you don't want to appeal to price shoppers. I'm sorry if I'm screaming, but it's just horrific. And this is the guy who made it. Okay, this was shown to us by the R&D department. He's an agency owner. He actually owns an agency, which is crazy to me. But here in our consultancy, we're just going through that, and you can see these are the ads that he ended up thinking to go ahead and run. So a beautiful kitchen awaits you, 10% off this October, 10% off this October. And for some reason, he believes that this will be a winning ad. But you and I now know, going through actual systems, that you shouldn't fall for things like this, okay? You'll get loads of leads, but these leads will lead nowhere. And you've been down that route before, okay? You've been down that route and you don't want to go through it again, okay? So here are the final ads that he decided to go ahead and try and run. With everything you know now, you can see why this ad would probably just get you a bunch of price shoppers. And now you know how to avoid it. And now you know, if you're working with an agency, you can actually see the ads and be like, okay, of course, like we can see why the people who are coming in are not of high quality. So just to recap where we're at this stage. So number one, make sure it resonates with the right person. Number two, make sure you qualify them in a quick enough fashion. 5 minutes is the golden time. You need to be on them in like 5 minutes. So if you need to enslave your child, if you need to, I don't know, traffic people from the middle of Mozambique, so you can have someone who's on call anytime a lead comes in and call them within 5 minutes. And then even deeper than that, if they don't pick up, make sure you're using an iPhone to message them so they know it's a human, not an automation SMS message. Because pretty much no one is using SMS messaging outside of a company. So if they're getting an iMessage, they're thinking, oh, it's a real person. Oh, it's a blue message. Okay, it's a real person. So make sure you implement that in your company for just so we're up to speed on what I've gone through so far. Okay, so you can see why ads like these would probably just get you a bunch of price shoppers, loads of leads that lead nowhere. Okay, great. So now we're past that. And by the way, if you're the agency owner here, I'm not trying to get onto you. I'm not trying to expose you or anything. I'm just showing them why. I'm giving them an example, because we don't make ads like these. I'm just showing them why our ads will perform better than ads like that, because selling on value, not on how cheap it is. So just so you can see all that stuff again. All right, so here's the action items and whatnot. So qualify them with your ad, okay? So this is a deeper thing that you're going to be doing with the actual ad copy. So the things that the words that accompany the ad. So qualify them, attention, whatever area you actually serve, homeowners, because you want homeowners. Scary if you get renters and whatnot. Sounds like a small thing, but you're not going to resonate with the right person. Maybe it's someone who rents and then they just want to get a new kitchen. It turns out they opt in, you pay for them to opt in. You're in their kitchen, you're like, oh, you don't own the house. Now you can't work with them. It was a waste. You went out, you spent time and money and effort. Horrible. So I'm just making sure you know that, because it's very, very important. So now you want people that buy on value and craft instead of cost. Want your dream kitchen done right. We specialize in turning the kitchen from a room in your house to the heart of your home. Okay, so they're selling more on value. Why we're the go-to for luxury kitchens to be done right. Phrases like these and whatnot. I'm giving you a few examples so you can run through it yourself. Then make sure that you're actually qualifying them with the time frame, because maybe they're the right person, but not right now, and that's fine. But here's the major thing: we want people right now. We want money right now, okay? Because right now is when we have to pay bills. Right now is when we actually have food that needs buying. So if you're ready to finally have your dream kitchen in the next 60 days, because then you can start working with them immediately. So make sure you're communicating that within your marketing messaging. Okay, cool. So qualify it with how hard it is to actually get through. So you only get hot leads. Make the application harder to complete, and how hard it is to get through your funnel is going to determine the quality of people on the back end. Because if someone, let's say they kind of want something, they're like okay with getting a thing, then they might not. Let's say I'm going to give you a high five if you fill out a form for me. You're like, okay, I mean, okay, cool. Let's say it's just 3 different lines. Okay, yeah, I filled out for you. That here's a high five. Boom. But if I say to you, I'll give you 5 MacBooks, you'll sit there for maybe even an hour, because the payoff you're going to get on the back end is of high quality. So if they're thinking that a dream kitchen is of high value to them, they'll give you all the info and it'll be of grand value to you. So you can qualify them on the front end. And how can you do that? So outside of just getting the name, number, email, you should actually be getting additional info. So yes, I plan to move or update the cabinets, or no, you don't. No, they don't. So understanding what they're going to want to do with the cabinets, the countertops, the floor plans. So you can even understand like kind of how much this will probably be running them. And please tell us a little bit about the project so they can actually type something out as well. So they actually really committing to the process of being qualified, and then they're ready to hire. Okay, great. When would you like this request to be completed? Timing is flexible in less than 2 months. So you would want them to qualify themselves essentially, so they can also be held accountable. So if you're in their kitchen, you're like, hey, but John, you said in less than 2 months you're ready to get it cracking. So what's going on? So this is qualifying them at a deeper level. You can steal these questions and whatnot. They're great. They work. Okay, great, lovely jubbly. So in essence, to zoom all the way out, all right, just so we can recap every single thing that we've gone through, make sure that you're actually using frameworks like these to be able to sell on quality instead of price. Then actually qualify with how hard it is to actually get through your system. Here's some questions that you can add into your forms right now. Now, even deeper than that, make sure that your ads don't look like this, like time to update your kitchen. Click, look, looks absolutely horrific. Sorry, bro, I'm not trying to get onto your ads, but they do look horrific, and they probably will be. And just to be fair as well, he did say that you'll probably get more leads and less quality, but I'm just making sure that we're just showing you this is an ad that actually made a lot of money. So Utah homeowners, get your dream kitchen done right. Boom, great. So you can just communicate value with the images, and this is going to resonate with the people that you want to be working with, not people that buy on price. Remember, this guy here, Mr. Billionaire, is telling you that you need to be able to call that person in 5 minutes. And this is corroborated not just by him, but by a study from LRM, and also a study from one of the biggest CRM systems in the remodeling space. And here's how you get it to resonate with you, based on Mr. Drew Eric Whitman, the leading sales and marketing psychologist himself. So now you know all of that. This is how you're able to make sure that you never ever in your life ever again have to get a price shopper, a tire kicker ever again in your life. And if you want a system like this, install your company. There's a link down below to do it, but no worries if not. Look, if you like the video, I'd say save it, because you're going to want to revisit this and make sure that you're building systems around these kind of frameworks as well. And if you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you hate it, then leave words of vitriol and hatred in the comments against me and my entire bloodline so I can read it and cry myself to sleep. But until then, you've been great. I've been Kamal. You could be anywhere else in the world. You're here with me, and I highly appreciate it. So until next time, have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.